Hello all, and let me to introduce myself in my syntax. I'm a security engineer with over 10 years experience in application security in different industry sectors, from telco, fintech, and right now in AI-powered company. From 2016 till today, hope till future, I'm an OWASP contributor on project like MSTG, Mobile Security and Testing Guide. And right now, from 2020, I'm leading project DevSecOps guideline under OWASP organization. And right now, I'm senior DevSecOps engineer at ScoutV. Why I wear this t-shirt, this hoodie today. So if you want to follow me or the project, you can scan this QR code and find more detail about that. Traditional view of software development was, in traditional software development, security measures were in the right side of the development. When product was ready to push to the production or in pre-production, we had some security tests. If you were lucky, you get informed as a security engineer. You get informed that application is ready to test in pre-production. And if you are not enough lucky, so the you have to meet the application in when it was up and running in the production environment. And with advent DevOps, this culture of security test and this approach doesn't work. So they didn't work. So they are starting to bringing security as a part of development process, and that was that DevSecOps appears. And the things that DevSecOps aiming is fill the gap between development, security, and operation. But with which things? By promoting a culture of collaboration, shared responsibility, and continuous improvement. As you can see here, we have, we shift security checks to the left side of the development pipeline by adding different security tests like SAST, EAST, and software component analysis, DAST, and other part that we can have. I just put some example here. I know that we can add more or less here. And based on this boom curve, you can see the time of error discovery based on the phase that we find the vulnerability or error, the cost and effort to fix will be reduced. So this is one of the things that we are following in DevSecOps. But it's not even just about the technology. From a technology point of view, we add some security checks into the pipeline development. But from a team perspective, also we experience some changes. Like in the traditional development, we had solution delivery team that they just focusing to push and enforce product to the operation. That time, that product was like a hot potato. They want to pass it to the operation team, and then operation team should be deal with the product vulnerability, quality error, and things like that. Because operation team and security team was out of this game. But by DevOps, operation teams involved as a part of this team. So we call it DevOps team. And right now, security is also involved as a part of this. So all of them should be sit together for one approach that we can see in the next slide. But it's not enough, because I can see a lot of companies, a lot of LinkedIn posts, a lot of tweets. It was tweet, but I don't know what is right now. X. That people talking about, okay, we implement some SAST, DAST, and things like that. And, okay, why we need penetration test? Why we need bug bounty, VDP, and things like that? And I can say, while we are shifting security to the security test to the left side of the pipeline development, most potential attack surface that we had is the right side. Because this is the place that every person able to see our products. if we have some Git repo, private Git repo, so they cannot access to the code. But when we have an application, which is web application or mobile application, everybody can meet that and find some vulnerability. So the right side is still important part. And also I can see a lot of non-security experts says, okay, we have SAST, why we need DAST? We have pentest, why we need bug bounty? Or we have bug bounty, why we need pentest? And as security expert, all of us sure that each of them has a different reason, because they can cover, but they cannot replace each other. To summarize the previous slides, let's review some wrong facts. DevSecOps engineer is DevOps engineer plus security engineer. So company hired one and get two. So it's a cost saving from HR perspective, but not true. I can say, because when I joined the company as a senior DevSecOps, I say, okay, can you fix this problem in your Kubernetes? And I say, okay, I can, not all of it, but a little bit of that, but I'm not a DevOps engineer, sorry for that. And DevSecOps engineer is a security engineer, which is able to work as a part of DevSecOps team. And the second wrong fact is, by implementing some tools, we have DevSecOps, which is wrong. Okay, tools is not enough, and we will see why. And the third one is, since DevSecOps says security is responsibility for all of them, let's kill all of security engineer, consultant, or especially, or lay off them. It's a cost saving time. So, but it's also wrong, because that we reviewed that security engineer should be part of DevSecOps team. And so we need them, fortunately or unfortunately. And fourth, by shifting security tests to the left, we have a full secure product. But in the previous slide, we saw that a lot of vulnerability came on the desk after pushing a product to the production, after passing all of the security tests in the pipeline, after a good session of threat modeling, secure design, I don't know, 1 million different checks that we had. But pillars of DevSecOps. A lot of people right now talking about DevSecOps, but most of the conversation is around tools and technologies. If you are going to the LinkedIn and open your LinkedIn, unfortunately, I follow the hashtag DevSecOps in my LinkedIn, and every day I can see some academy propose some courses. By getting involved in these courses, you will be DevSecOps from zero to hero. But it's wrong, because from a real perspective of DevSecOps and from a real world, oops, I just spoiled my. Based on, I just want to refer to this quote from Bruce Schneider that is really fit and insightful regarding this situation that a lot of people thinking, okay, DevSecOps is implementing some tools. And Bruce Schneider says, if you think technology can solve your security problems, then you don't understand the problems and you don't understand the technology. And based on this, by reference of this code, we can say we have three main pillars for DevSecOps: people and process, tools and technology, and governance. We have to implement all of them, and we have to consider all of them to have a full DevSecOps environment. People and process. This is the most important part because it's enable other components to work. If we want to implement tools, we need someone which has some process which are really good, working good, and have a good approach of DevSecOps. And at the beginning, it's really a fact that at the beginning of implementing DevSecOps, since we had to take care about the right side, and in another side, we have to think about the left side, so we have more workload for security team. But the good news is, please don't complain about that, because the life will be back to the normal, and you have really a smooth stand-up at the morning after 2 or 3 months of hard working. Traditionally, development was responsible for fast delivery, security was responsible for application security, and operation was responsible for stability of the software. But DevSecOps try to disrupt these silos and says, we are following this goal, delivering secure and stable software quickly. This means that all of these people in this different team that we had in the past have a equal shared responsibility, and based on their expertise, they are able to contribute on this approach. And second part of people and process is process. Now we have a shared responsibility model based on the previous slide. So we have to update our processes, development process, all of the policies maybe that we have, to define them based on this promotion, clear communication, transparent development, and active collaboration. Because process will help people to stay involved. If I'm feeling that I'm involved in the process, I will be participate on that. So one of the key point here is communication, that we should every time try to inform people and keep them involved in the DevSecOps process. And some topics that we can hear here is like shaping a security champion team, which is from a different department, like marketing, sales, because as you know, marketing is just try to chase engineering team to provide some solution, and sales wants to sell that solution. So we have to implement a security champion team and make sure that all of us in the same page from a providing secure product perspective. Also, we can have some training for developers and operation team and help them to understanding and get more involved in security mindset. The second pillar was technology. Okay, to make the process more practical, we need technologies and tools. And one of the things that we have to consider while we want to implement some tools, automation is key. So if we have some solution, if we have two solutions and one of them has more, give us more automation, that is a better choice for us. And tool will help us to reducing effort for the test, increasing accuracy, and repeating the tests. And here is a picture that I steal from OWASP DevSecOps guideline project. That actually I draw this one. That you can see we have two different pipeline here. One is infrastructure pipeline, because we have EOC, infrastructure as a code scanning here, and some test here for infrastructure. And here is an application pipeline, and you can see different stages, steps of security testers that we have here, and some tools candidate here. A lot of vendors fighting with me why you didn't put our logo here. And I said, okay, make a revision, I will consider that one. It's good. And here is an example. It's one of real slide that I'm using while I'm trying to talking with the development team, because I need to give them some insights. And one of the approach that I'm taking is providing some real world example, because I believe that as a security expert, you have to able to translate a technical problem to a non-technical language, and also translate a non-technical problem to a technical language for the team that you are working with them. So here is why secret scanning is important and what we have to do with secrets. And here is some screenshot from HackerOne, which is a bug bounty platform. And you can see, what is this logo? I forgot that. Snapchat. Snapchat paid $50,000 for username password of JFrog Artifactory, which is exposed over GitHub. By implementing a secret scanning, maybe they could to save this amount of money. But while as a security engineer in the company, you fight for €1,000 budget for implementing solution, you always will be rejected. And here, Starbucks paid $4,000. You can't see it, but I saw it. It's $4,000 for Jump Cloud API, which is exposed in a public Git repository that they had. So, and a lot of examples that we can use for different stage of DevSecOps tools that we will implement, like GAST, why we need software component analysis, why we need SAST, why we need infrastructure as a code scanning, and a lot. But as I said at the beginning, today we don't want to talk about technology more, because I know that we are facing with a lot of information and a lot of advertisement about the DevSecOps tools and technologies. And governance, which is a third part of the DevSecOps. Having a system of governance enables us to keep the track of our process, identify area of improvement, and also visualize the outcome to compare them with the expectation that we had in the beginning of the process. Are we going in the right direction, or should we change? And some topics that we can cover here is some audits and checks, security standard that we can see in the next slide, that why it's important, because we have to consider security standard and best practices in software development and design. And policy as code, which is really important right now. And by implementing a good policy as code, you can reduce amount of policy violation and a lot of things that we have, a lot of mass that will be happen in the application environment. For example, one of the things that we are doing is, since in the current company we decided, it's 1 year ago that we decided to moving our infrastructure from old and legacy infrastructure, which was up and running on the cloud, to a new one. So we completely create a new AWS account. And then one of the policy that we established, I provide a name convention policy, because in the old AWS environment, when I log in first time, I got surprised. A lot of Kubernetes cluster, main test main, and something like that. I never could trust to which one is, and I'm never enough brave to touch them without talking with developers and operation team. But when we are starting to migrate the services, I said, okay, this is a time for name convention. I provide a name convention policy, which is maybe not my job, but I did that. And because I'm really get it down person, and I never care about, is it security area or not? I saw a problem and we have to fix that. And then we implement policy as code solution to even fail the changes if the name convention is not matched with the syntax that we defined. It's a long journey, but the long story short, that it was really helpful. Right now we have an environment that if a new joiner joined the company, able to understand, okay, this is a staging account and this cluster is a staging cluster or test cluster in the staging environment. And data protection, visualization is really important, because if I back here, a lot of people think about that, okay, if we have a secret scanning, SAST and DAST and others, container scanning in the pipeline, so we have everything. But the things that we need here is central vulnerability management. We need a place to collect and centralize all of the reports and results from the scanner and make sure that everything is going good. Never trust developers or operation. This is an endless war between us and them. Just kidding. And challenges and mitigation that we have. Overcoming to cultural resistance. When we are starting to implement DevSecOps, one of the things is cultural resistance that we definitely face with that. And we have to prioritize active collaboration and communication between stakeholders to make sure that all of us in the same page regarding software security, regarding security and what we want to do. And one of the things that I did is using this type of a slide. I know it's a little bit strange for some teams, but it's really insightful for them, because all of us knows about HackerOne, Bugcrowd, and platform like this. But as a developer or operation person, maybe they didn't inform about that, and we need to show them some real cases. And this is really good time to show benefit of DevSecOps, like fast time to market, improving security, and reducing the vulnerability. Because when a product which is pushing to the production environment without security checks, it's definitely vulnerable. Right now, by a lot of security tests, still application in the production is vulnerable, but that without them definitely is vulnerable. And seamless tool integration, continuous monitoring, and improve of security tooling. Maybe in the past you implement a SAST solution, but right now, according to the changing tech stack or development stack that you have, the current SaaS tool is not working well for you. So change that. I listened to the podcast regarding startups, and he said a lot of startups fail because instead of failing love with the problem, they are failing love with the technology. So please don't fail in love with the technology. You have to consider the problem and try to fix that. Okay, I really like these tools and it's provided fancy dashboard, but maybe not working for you. And addressing compliance and regulation. Try to understand, according to the market that your product and application is working, which regulation and standards should be considered, and try to consider them as a part of the development pipeline, development life cycle that you have. If you are in charge to participate in application design session, so you have to think about this regulation and try to translate them from a non-technical language, which is a standard or regulation language, to a technical language that developer team and operation team can understand them. In conclusion, DevSecOps journey is a long-term investment. So be patient and try to show changes. Yeah, they showed me yellow card, so the second one will be the second is the good implementation makes it cost reduction activity as well. As you can see here, based on NIST report, we have different phase of development, and it shows us which, according to the cost, which stage can be reduced the cost. If we catch an issue or security vulnerability or error in architecture phase, it's one-time cost for us. instead of 30 times cost for us. So shifting to the left, catching issue as fast as possible. This is a things that we have to follow by shifting everything to the left, but not whole thing that we can do. We still need to take care about the right side of the pipeline as well. We need pen test, bug bounty, or whatever according to the budget that allows us.
Okay, do we have any questions from the audience? Oh, we have two. Okay, and they're very close to the speaker. Is that okay? Okay.
Maybe less of a question, more of a side note that I have experienced in the past couple of months as well is that not only security is a very popular topic to look at from the DevSecOps pipeline in itself, but also the topic of privacy. As with most of the companies nowadays, right, they all see, oh, shoot, where do we have personal data lying around in all of our systems? So as much as you do the shift left with privacy aspects as well, right, where do we need to anonymize data or masquerade it some other way that also helps on the privacy aspects?
Mm. Actually, it is a really good question, and you can see here a topic that I put under governance is data protection. When we provide these topics for OWASP DevSecOps guideline project with Milan, which is my co-contributor on that project, we recognize that data protection is really important, and a lot of companies didn't care about that in the pipeline development. After pushing the product to the production, we get a security incident that, okay, some PII data are in the logs or things like that. It really depends on application design to find the point that we have to be able to implement data protection checks. It really depends on the product, and it really depends on the design that we have. But the thing is, if we consider the triangle of security and put security in one corner, ease of use in another one, and features in another one, it is a really basic security concept, and we put a ball in the triangle and try to move it to the security, so we go far from those one. And it really depends on the market. It really depends on the business. It really depends on the product that, okay, which security position is really good and good balance for this product or businesses.
All right, we had one more question, but unfortunately we are out of time. So please give Ali a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Ali.
Good.